March 31st, 2016, Tokyo Dome. 50,000 screaming fans, 9 girls, 1 stage. The biggest night in anime idol history. And then, she vanished. Not retired, not quiet, disappeared. Her voice stopped working. Love Live moved on. New groups replaced her, as if she never existed. This is what they do not want you to know. Tokyo Dome, March 31st, 2016. The word final echoed everywhere, on banners, on tickets, in the official program. Music forever. The last one-man live. Press releases used a Japanese phrase meaning last one-man live, the ultimate solo performance. 50,000 fans packed the stadium, each seat a heartbeat in a living monument to idol culture. Every spotlight, every camera, every voice in the crowd was there for Muse, and for one last time, for Kotori Minami. The franchise did not say goodbye quietly. This was closure, broadcast and branded in neon. No talk of a break, no hint of a return. The concert subtitle was not a suggestion, it was a declaration. This is the end. For years, Kotori's image had been everywhere, on posters, merchandise, magazine covers. On that night, her face was projected stories high, her voice soaring above the crowd, the sound system shaking with the power of 9 voices in perfect harmony. But as the final song faded, something else faded with it. The next day, the branding changed. The term "Music Forever" vanished from official channels. Press releases and the Love Live website scrubbed mentions of Muse. Kotori's image, once a marketing staple, slipped from banners, from shop displays, from the very spaces she had filled. The group was not disbanded. They were erased. The public narrative called it a graduation. Behind the scenes, it felt like a disappearance. What happens to a character and the person behind her when the curtain drops and the world moves on? The answer starts here, in the silence that followed the spectacle. Contracts in the idol world are invisible lines, drawn, erased, and redrawn without fanfare. On March 31st, 2016, as the cheers from Tokyo Dome faded, Aya Uchida posted a message titled Gohokoku, a simple notice, to her Amoeba blog. The timing was precise, the same day her decade-long contract with JTB Entertainment expired. In her own words, she thanked the agency that had managed her since debut, then announced, "From April, I will be with Aqours Entertainment." No drama, no hint of discord, just a matter-of-fact handover, as if switching desks at the office. But behind the polite language, the safety net vanished. JTB's oversight ended, and Aqours's began. Between these lines, the industry's machinery kept turning. In Japan, voice actor contracts often include silent, non-compete windows of 3 to 6 months where work is limited, though nothing is ever confirmed in public. For Aya, the shift meant new handlers, new obligations, and a sudden drop in institutional protection. The blog post is brief, almost clinical, but the subtext is clear. The old support system is gone. The next step happens alone. In the background, the franchise raced ahead, already investing in new talent, new faces, new voices. The story of Kotori Minami was suddenly not just about a character's absence, but about the performer left standing in the void between contracts, waiting for the next call with no guarantee it will come. Long before any press release or blog post, the warning signs crept in. Aya Uchida's voice, once bright and effortless, began to fray at the edges. After years of high-register songs, stadium-sized chants, and relentless rehearsals, the fatigue set in, quiet at first, and then impossible to ignore. By mid-2016, she was struggling to recover after every live performance, her range shrinking, high notes scraping raw. Ear, nose, and throat specialists call it a classic case, nodules, the calluses of overuse. For singers, especially those forced to hit the same piercing notes night after night, it is not a matter of if, but when. Uchida's schedule left no room for rest. Idol contracts do not come with sick days. Every missed event risks letting the next generation take your place. The industry demands perfection, but the human body has limits. As the months wore on, Uchida's voice faltered more often. Studio takes stretched into double time. Whispered warnings from doctors grew sharper. Rest or risk permanent damage. She pushed through, driven by obligation, by habit, by the fear of being forgotten. The cost was cumulative, invisible at first, then undeniable. Each performance took something she could not get back. The silence after the applause was no longer relief. It was dread. The stage lights faded, but the damage did not. By the end of that summer, medical intervention was no longer a choice. It was a necessity, written in every missed note and every sleepless night. December 4th, 2016, Aya Uchida posted a notice to her Amoeba blog that she would be taking time off for surgery. There was no fanfare, just a timestamp and a few lines about a benign nodule, medical and almost cold. The words hung in the digital silence. For a voice actress, this was a sentence. 2 weeks of enforced quiet, forbidden even to whisper. The world that once demanded her voice now demanded her silence. She wrote that she could not speak, so she stayed home. She cooked, she cleaned, she read books. Each day was marked not by applause, but by the absence of sound. Her voice, central to her work, her identity, her survival, was gone, locked behind swollen cords and stitched incisions. The industry did not pause. Roles cycled, auditions continued, and the next generation filled the airwaves. The pattern was familiar. In 2015, Emi Nita, Honoka's voice, vanished for months with vocal polyps. The franchise barely blinked. On January 19th, 2017, Aya posted again. She said she could not speak properly yet. The update was short, almost apologetic. There was no promise of return. For Aya and for Kotori, the silence was total. This is what disappearance looks like. Not a dramatic exit, but a slow erasure, measured in days without a voice. Officially, Aya Uchida disappeared, replaced, erased, written out. But her voice survives, scarred yet undefeated. Industry can silence a name, but it can't erase devotion. The comeback is the answer.